Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please like and subscribe if this is something you end up liking. Who knows? You might. Anyway, this is my monthly opportunity to talk about what did I read and what am I reading going into the next month. I found out this is something, it's just a nice way to connect, I think, a little bit better as to just because this is really, when it comes down to it, we're talking about what is it that I'm actually reading, and then eventually, which leads to then all of the lists that I like to make on a yearly basis and everything else that I have going on. So I like to kind of keep that up to date. And then I wanted to talk about just a little bit about some channel updates. I've got just crazy amounts of live streams and whatnot. And I always just wonder, do you appreciate or do you not appreciate use of the community tab? That's the thing that will give you updates and let me send messages to the community, to the subscribers of this channel, to be able to ask you or tell you or let you know what's going on. I usually like to just give you a heads up if I'm live streaming somewhere else. Anyway, I'll get into that, what I've done and what I'm doing going forward. If I can even talk about it, there's more things going on, more collaborations. So it's such a cool community to be a part of, and I want to be able to be a part of everything, but it really makes it hard to keep doing my own stuff for my own channel. Anyway, so let's talk about the monthly update, the month of March. How did it go? And how is it going for the next month? So first of all, how did it go? First things first, I did read Memories of Ice. This is book 3 in the Malazan, Book of the Fallen, and I swear, this is my third time through, and it gets better each time. I love it. It's just, and this one was originally my all-time favorite of the whole 10-book series. Does it remain so? The problem is it shares that spot. So kind of, yes, yes, it remains at the top, but it shares this with some other books. You're going to see another review video. This one, last time I did a review video, I believe it was the last one. It was for Dead House Gates, and that's book 2 in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And I called that one of the best, if not the best, fantasy book ever written. It's absolutely how I was feeling at the time. I hadn't reread this one in at least a year. But then I get to this one and it's like, yep, it's still there. It's still up there. It's still just one of the best ever. And so I make my arguments as to why Memories of Ice this time is, if not the best, at least one of the top fantasy books of all time. And again, the list, the top spot keeps getting full. And I think that's why we generally as a society on YouTube have accepted tier lists, because tier lists let you put really as many as you want in S tier if you really want to. And that's the thing. That's the search. Let's be honest. What else are we here for on BookTube if not for the best, most S tier of all books? That's what we're aiming for. And the more we can put on there, the better, right? It's not all just for doom and gloom and for naysaying, which again has its place, I think, but we'll get there when we get there. All right. Then I read Network Effect. This is book 5 in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. This is the first and only that I know of full novel. This is full novel length Murderbot, and it definitely needed it. It definitely got that, and it was just a joy to read. It was so much fun. And I'm giving this to you in literally the order that I read them during the month. Gosh, it was so much to it, and I really loved it. I thought it was just such a good use of past characters, and it was nice, I guess, to see Murderbot get a full novel and get a full treatment instead of these just like little, which are great, these little novels or novelettes or novellas. Novellas, I think, is what they are. Novellas, and just to really get a full, like, everything going on, and instead of just some of these kind of they're just a bit well, they're kind of perfect, but they're just smaller scale, right? And they're just smaller scale stuff that's happening. So not a whole lot can even really happen in the page limit that they have, as opposed to a full novel. It's again just really nice, I think. And we'll get to more in a sec, but I'm doing this in the order in which I did these, or I read these. Then I read More Than a Gunslinger by J.R. Carroll. This is a fellow booktuber, very great presence on Twitter as well. Offered up a review copy via audio, and I thought it was a really fun novel. Really just, this is a good month, I have to say. A great take, some kind of historical slash supernatural goings on, and it was really fun main character to follow, so I gotta get a full review going. Yet one of the many that I've been slacking on for these kind people sending me review copies. But anyway, just had a blast with it. Really just fun, with some fun characters, and some fun historical characters too that you get to meet that fit into the world. I would recommend you check it out. It's really fun. Then I read Fugitive Telemetry. That would be number 6 in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I am fully caught up, and I'm a little mad about that because I caught up a little too fast. This is not my style to just suddenly be caught up with a series. I think because they're so short, it's just easy, and they keep coming through in the library, and so what am I going to do? So I am fully up to date. Fugitive Telemetry it was one of the more fun novellas of the series so far. Definitely better than 2 and 3. I'll have to tier list these at some point probably, huh? But I had a blast with it, so I thought it was just, top tier stuff. Martha Wells is still, she clearly knows the direction of this. I don't know, that's at least my thought on it. There's another one coming out this year, so I cannot wait. Sign me up, but apparently I'm already ahead of the game for once in my life. I'm very excited for that. Then finally, I actually have books again. The Bloody Chorus. Gosh, man, this is just a matter of, my audiobooks I can get in. They're easy. I'm in the car anyway. It's a physical book that I just struggle anymore getting the time to actually get to, because this is all I wanted to do this last actually couple months now, was just dive into this. And holy cow, John Marco, if you haven't read him, do yourself a favor. Just such great character work, and you feel so good about that. I don't know, they're just, even the bad guys are you don't always hate everything they're doing, and you can understand. They're always understandable, and I think that's what just makes them such good characters, is that you get what they're doing even when they're doing stuff you completely disagree with, right? Great just world, and anyway, just lots of great stuff to explore here. And just 2 different, completely rival and different cultures clashing in this book just makes it so great. And again, to make this one culture so foreign and so different, that just takes a master. Anyway, John Marco, back at it, back at the top of his game as usual. He hasn't missed a mark since, and I've read, I think, all of his books. I think there's only one that I have, and it's his YA book, and I still need to get to that. I was putting him off for a rainy day. But anyway, and I mean, look at that cover. That was just, anyway, it's just got everything going for it. I'm going to have a full review again to come. Let's hope that's sooner rather than later. All right, so that is my month of March. 5 books, but there's some doozies in there. You saw at least 1,000-pager. I feel pretty good about that. 5 books if I can crank out in a month. I know I had to supplement a little bit. One of those is a novella, but I'm gonna forgive myself for that, because let's be honest, the page count, average page count I think for the month is probably somewhere in the 500 to 600 range. So you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm gonna deal with that. So I'm doing really bad math, so maybe it's 400 range. That's still a healthy novel a piece, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna allow it. All right, since I'm the judge here too. Anyway, all right, let's get to the TBR. The TBR, and it's more of an MBR. I like the idea of an MBR because My mood reader self has been struggling lately. I need to break free, to really pull a queen. I've always been a mood reader, and I've tried really hard since I started this channel to get somewhat of a TBR, because there is like this idea of like actually finishing series, which I heard some people do. Uh, so I, in an attempt to try to do that and not completely constrict myself, I kind of like take it to an MBR, but still with some like, I need to keep pushing forward with some series, again, that I love, but I'm such a mood reader that I can just keep going on the newest, shiniest thing, because I already know about the great stuff that I'm already in the middle of. I don't know, don't ask me. But the other thing is read-alongs, like the Malazan read-along that I jumped on board with. And again, we had a live stream on that, and I'll talk about those in a second. But anyway, so to keep going with that, one of the many read-alongs I'm doing with live streams accompanying that is a Cosmere one. I'm kind of just wherever I've not read, I'm going to try to read, but then otherwise probably not, and just rely on my bad memory for whatever I've already read. That's about all as much as I can do. But right now what I'm on is Edge Dancer, again in my very beat up copy that I did get on Amazon, I believe. Yeah, very beat up copy there. And then I beat it up more by taking it on vacation, because that's what I do. But because I thought I was going to read so much and didn't. And so anyway, Edge Dancer, already started it. I need to just actually finish it. It's interesting, not my favorite of all the characters. But it was an entertaining in Words of Radiance. So I at least, there's some knowledge of that character. I meant to grab it. I don't have the physical book, but I'm doing it on audio anyway. House of Chains is the next up. I'm actually already started on that one too, but that is on my TBR for this month. We're supposed to be doing a live stream here soon. I think anyway, we got to figure out when that's happening. But I'll let you know. House of Chains has traditionally been on the weaker side for me for the Malazan series. We're talking like Swiss chocolate compared to like Belgium chocolate, okay? So we're talking like right up there, really close together, and that's like this level of like the very top and then the like slightly below the top compared to anything else. That's where I'm at with this, really, because all Malazan's really been amazing for me. But House of Chains, definitely on the weaker side for me, but so far, especially Karsa Orlong, if you know, you know, and you just have to read it to know, obviously, because I don't like hiding the ball. But Karsa Orlong, definitely a fun chapter, or a fun book, I should say, of the book House of Chains. And oh man, and again, with all the understanding you have on a reread, that's the best way to go. Because there's some things that he says, you're just like, that's pretty bad. Some things he does are pretty bad, regardless of whether you're on a reread or not. But anyway, that's the thing, is Erickson pulls no punches, and that's what he's always going to give you. All right, one of the books I want to read, again, another review copy. I try to keep these at the top of the pile because I want to get to them, and because these authors are so nice to give them to me, is Dark Theory by Wick Welker. Just been a fun author to interact with on Twitter, and so of course I was going to accept a review copy. And so I've heard really good things actually about this series. So Dark Theory, it finally got an audiobook, and I almost immediately got one for myself. So that, again, it being on audio makes things doable for me. That's my problem here. All right. And then we've got Calamity. Calamity is the third. I'd like to complete a series. I know I'm already reading some Sanderson this month. I'm not even trying to read the newest secret project that I just got on Kindle, which I won't announce. Like, apparently there's some issue with announcing the name of it. I honestly don't know why. I have not figured out why. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you could explain to me why we're very careful about this title. I didn't think Tress of the Emerald Sea, we were too crazy or concerned about that. Anyway, so another one, and I'm kind of keeping the rest of the month a little bit free to mood read to my heart's content. Let's see, there's a ton. There's so many books I just want to randomly pick up. The Wandering Inn is one that Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews has been pushing. So I'm dying to get to that one. There's a lot that are on and just queued up and ready for me to go on Kindle, on audiobook, and in physical book, of course. Man, that pile is huge. So anyway, just as an update for live streams and whatnot. So like I had already kind of mentioned, there's the Malazan one that's ongoing. We just had this month the Memories of Ice one. If you want to check that out, that is on my channel. So I will link that down below. Then there will be one for House of Chains. We're just got to get that going. Of course, then we'll have Midnight Tides after that. So we've been pretty consistent with that. There's a Cosmere read-along with P.L. Stewart, Made Between the Pages. Roger reads, and so that's the Cosmere read-along I had alluded to, and we're figuring that out too. And there might have already happened, depending on when this video goes up. I'm hoping not. I'm thinking this gets out at least the day before. We're ironing things out. We're trying to make things work. Let's see. I've got some collaborations I can't really mention yet, but we're gonna have some fun with some fun channels. Anyway, that I'll be promoting. And again, I'm gonna put out a poll, and it's funny because it'll be using the community tab. Just to get your idea of what you're thinking for use of the community tab, all right? And so that's just my chance to be able to communicate. Sometimes I just have excuses. I'm sick or something happened that week. A lot of my videos just get filmed last minute and then edited last minute. I apologize for that. My schedule's crazy. It's the most I can do. I try to get ahead of it. When I'm ahead of it, then I have no excuses. Things keep going nice and smoothly. And then every now and then I catch up to myself and have to give those excuses. So I apologize for that, but I like to just, again, give a heads up because I like to keep it at least semi-consistent with at least my Tuesday and Thursday or Friday videos, at least 2 a week. Sometimes I'll throw them up different days. Last week I had a weird week where it didn't work out to get something out, so I did a short for Tuesday. I got something up Wednesday, which is not my normal day for posting. And then another, I think it was on Friday, I got another short up. And then, so anyway, it's just one of those, one of those weeks sometimes. So at least I got, 2 shorts in a video. Does that make up for another extra full video that you didn't get? I apologize. Probably not. The shorts are pretty low-key for the most part. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. There's lots going on. I love it. It's so much fun just to be part of this community. Thank you so much for stopping by, for liking, for subscribing, and just making this a blast to communicate with. And so what are you reading this month? What is up for you, and what did you enjoy last month? Like my Mount TBR is big enough. Let's keep it going. I always like to see what's the next thing. Like I said, we're here, we're looking for the best stuff. So I gotta know. And what are you reading? What are you recommending? And then what are you reading next month? Let me know. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.